Trevin, can you call the meeting to order, please?
Yeah, so I just want to clarify, we're allowed to proceed according to the Brown Act with a staff report that's missing portions of its content.
Well, we have the agenda. I understand. I saw we can see if there's any comments during the meeting, and we can take it from there to see if there's any need for continuance, or we can continue with the item.
Okay. Calling the meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. This is the zoning administrator meeting for the city of Seaside.
Okay, we have.
I have on the agenda. I have on the agenda roll call, but I don't think it's just me, right?
Correct.
Correct. So okay, so we have a quorum, and then opening the agenda to public comment.
And that would be for any item that's not posted on the agenda.
Is there any public comment for any items not posted on the agenda? Please raise your hand. I'm not seeing any public comment. I'm not seeing any public comment. Public comment closed. Moving on to business items. Item 4A, minor use permit application number MUP 2104 regarding Charlene and Janice, sorry if I mispronounced this, Cecina, property owners, Seaside Crafters LLC, requesting approval of a minor use permit to operate a type 6 cannabis manufacturing facility within an existing one-story building located at 1230 Playa Avenue in the community commercial zoning district, categorically exempt class 1 section 1501A from the California Environmental Quality Act. Do we have a presentation from staff?
How's that move? Okay. So good evening. The application this evening, this is a minor use permit application for a cannabis distribution and manufacturing application. The proposed use would fall under a type 6 non-volatile type of operation under the state guidelines. One thing I wanted to bring up is that there was a previous application in 2018, and that was processed in May 21st and on May 29th. That application was also for a type 6 non-volatile cannabis manufacturing. However, due to the application not being implemented within 1 year of its approval, that permit became null and void. And so the current applicants are a new applicant that is coming back now to reestablish the use that had previously been considered in 2018. We'll note on the background that with a non-volatile operation, this use would include infusion, mechanical extraction, packaging, and grinding. And so briefly, what I can tell you on the packaging, the applicant will be purchasing bulk concentrated cannabis product that they would package the bulk ground flour, bulk concentrates. Infusion would be a process where they would be utilizing infused oils that they would be able to manufacture and package. There's a grinding application that would be taking flour, grinding that flour, and allowing that to be used in a pre-roll format. And the non-volatile mechanical extraction is taking the product and using it in a bubble hash and a rosin press. The applicants are available this evening, so I would rather have them get more into the specifics of the processing and what that use is and how it's manufactured and distributed. Next slide. This is the project site plan. On the left side, you can see we have the project where it's on Playa Avenue. It's on the south side of Playa. The adjoining land uses, we have the Monterey. There's an adult school that is to the east. Also across the street to the north We have Calam well site directly across from the site. And then further down from the site are multifamily residential units. To the west, we have a vacant lot in the alley. And then further to the west is the frontage road or Fremont Boulevard, where we have existing retail businesses. And then directly behind the site is a residential property. And then further going to the west on LaSalle Avenue, we have a multifamily apartment building and a residential care facility that's on the corner of the alley and LaSalle Avenue. Going looking at the project site, the site is an existing structure, about 1,400 square feet. The site had previously been used as a tax accountant use, probably about 25, 30 years. Prior to that, I believe it had medical use associated with it, and it probably was a dwelling at some point in its early stages. The site we shown here with a new wood fence is to replace an existing chain link fence. That fence would have a decorative horizontal panel appearance that would be reviewed and approved by the zoning administrator. There is a gate that would go across the front entrance that accesses a driveway to the back area of the site, which is a detached garage, which would be used for storage of facility for the use. And then there's the rear yard behind that between the building and the detached garage. The site that's separated on the east side, there is a block wall that is raised on the south side of the property. That is the adult school, which is sitting about maybe 6 feet above grade from the property below. Next slide. So the project floor plan, they have the front, at the top is the front entrance. They're utilizing the rooms in various for their manufacturing use. They do have a 3D floor plan that is on top. Again, I would probably let the applicant answer any additional questions. There's really not much of a waiting or lobby area in this. This is primarily going to be used for the business itself. There is approximately going to be 5 employees at startup. It will be operating from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Next slide. City staff has included, as part of the staff report, we included the findings. There's 8 findings that are necessary that are included in the resolution to ensure compliance in terms of the operation of the use with state guidelines. Also in terms of ensuring that there's no external effects, namely odor is one consideration that definitely would be considered. The applicant has indicated that they would have a Honeywell type of a scrubber, charcoal scrubber system that would be installed within each room. The back area would not have any outdoor storage. The storage would be in the facility and in the detached garage. There is a security plan that's been submitted that would be reviewed and approved that's been reviewed by the police department. This would include the security cameras with inside the facility and outside, and there would be exterior security lighting required as part of the use as well. So overall, city staff has determined that subject to a final operation agreement that the applicant would need to comply with as part of the city's municipal code, that the use would be consistent with the security requirements, and that the exterior use would not be detrimental or have any external effect on the surrounding properties. So that would conclude staff's presentation. If there's any questions for staff, we would then allow it to go to the applicant to give you any more information on their operations for the site.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick, for the report. I appreciate your effort in putting that together. Move to approve. Motion passes. Moving on.
Oh, Trevin, you need to,
Yeah.
we need to have the applicant and then we open it for public comment.
What is the applicant's role?
Prior to making a decision on this item, public comment is to be taken. the applicant can speak first to represent their project and any questions they have, or just anything they want to state regarding their proposed use in the city. And then after the applicant speaks, we allow for public comment because this was noticed with a 300-foot public notice.
So at this point, open up the project application to the project applicant. We will limit the speaking time to 5 minutes. If there's anything you want to add or anything that you feel needs to be added to the staff report, please do so now. And you can use the raise your hand function to indicate that you want to speak. I'm not seeing a hand raised. I'll leave it open for a few more seconds. All right, no hands raised. So we're going to open it up to public comment. If you have a comment on this item, please use the raise your hand function to speak, or if you're on the phone, I believe it's *9. Leaving public comment open for a few more seconds. Seeing none, public comments closed. Trevin, you can proceed.
Okay, how does the motion work when it's just one person? Do I motion to approve and then approve it myself? Or do I just wait that we're going to approve? Do I just declare it approved, or do I have to take?
You can declare it approved, and then you would state that within 7 days from the date of this approval, there would be an appeal period that could be filed to the Planning Commission. There is information, though, in our municipal code that contains that people typically should have had record on the public for either oral or in written format. But in any event, you would just announce that there's a 7-day period of appeal from the state.
Okay, pursuant to Chapter 17.8 of the repeal process, there's 7 days until available for a window to apply for an appeal. The application is approved. Going on to the next item 4B, minor use permit application NC 2105, Jack Camp and Michelle Barth, property owner, requesting approval of a minor use permit to add 39 square feet to an existing single family residence.
Yeah, I'll take it.
No further than the existing non-conforming portion of the structure in compliance with Seaside Municipal Code Section 17.72, .030.B.1.B2. The property is located at 1698 Luxon Street in the residential 12 single-family residential. This project is categorically exempt, Class 1, Section 5301E from the California Environmental Quality Act. Staff, do you have a report?
So minor use permit 2105 for 1698 Luxton Street. This is a location map showing the property on the corner of Luxton and Mingo. Noche Buena is the nearest arterial to the west, and it is a corner lot. So again, the purpose of this item is to consider a minor use permit for approval of a 39 square foot addition. The existing single family residence is non-conforming in respect to the rear yard setback. The majority of the rear wall would serve as a setback of 12 feet 6 inches, where 15 feet is required. And the municipal code section for non-conforming structures allows for up to a 25% addition with a minor use permit. The existing home is 1,089 square feet on a substandard lot of 3,650 feet, with that 25% allowance for doing an addition into the existing setback. Encroaching into that 25% would bring us at about 270 square feet. The applicant is again only proposing 39, and only a small portion of that is projecting into the rear setback. The site plan shows exactly what I'm talking about. The red circled area is the area of the addition where you see it cross-hatched, 39 square feet total, 7 feet by 5.5 feet, and then that small portion, 5.5 feet by about 2.5 feet. It really doesn't have an impact on the surrounding neighborhood. As you can see, the nearest home is 15 feet away, where there's a rear setback. However, there is that existing non-conforming projection into the setback due to the year that the home was built under different regulations, also non-conforming, but not really related to this application, is a non-conforming side setback. And this is the only method by which this type of addition can be granted, as inconsequential as it seems. Here's the proposed elevation, and right below that is a photograph of the rear yard. So you can see in relation to those two windows shown here, the extent of that addition, which is minimal. And based on that and the handful of findings that need to be made to prove this, that's compatible with land use code as well as the general plan, and that it will not affect the health, safety, or welfare of the community. Staff recommends approval of minor use permit application MVP 21-05, subject to attachment 1, which is a draft resolution, and the exhibit, which is the project plans. I'm here for questions if you have any. If not, I'll proceed with my double duties tonight and opening up for applicant comment or public comment.
Does the applicant have any comments? Seeing no hands raised, are there any public comments?
Not seeing any hands raised.
No hands raised. Minor use permit application 2105 is approved. And that is the end of our business items. And I call this meeting adjourned at 6:19 p.m.
Thanks. Good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.